So let me finish with those comments and turn it over to questions.
Yeah, so can you just say your name and organisation?
Sure. Gus Goswell from ABC Radio News. So Telstra's the only company that can build the NBN. If the government doesn't agree to your demand, are you prepared then to see Australia not get a broadband network?
We put a proposal to the government which we believe gives the opportunity for them to engage with us in working through what is an absolutely enormous project. It is bigger than any other engineering project that, in one piece, that's been done in Australia in the past. What we are saying is that we can do it. We have the track record to do it. We are prepared to do it. There are some issues that are of enormous risk to us as a company that we need clarified, and in the event that the government can clarify those for us and we can then engage in commercial discussions with the government, we will build it.
Can you quantify the approximate cost of the network? Because I know that over the past few months the range has been 10 billion to as much as 20 billion.
What I've described here, Fleur, is about $10 billion of investment, which we see getting to about 90% of the population. Now, there's, depending on the engineering that's employed and a number of issues, speed of take-up, speed of construction, the cost, value of the A dollar, cost of capital, those sort of issues, will determine how far that money will go. What happens, though, is once you go past that number, the cost of it goes up exponentially. And as you go further towards 100%, as you go into the mid and high 90s, the cost of it goes up exponentially. So what we've said is our balance sheet, we are prepared to commit up to $5 billion. The government has said they're prepared to commit 4.7. Depending on the terms and conditions of that, takes us a certain distance, along with all those other things that I just described. If you go, right out to the end, the numbers go up very, very significantly.
So Telstra would be prepared to broadband that final 10% of the country?
I beg your pardon?
So that final 10% of the country is out of broadband services?
Well, there are obviously, again, depending on how this is structured, there are commercial options available. The extent to which we get beyond 90% is part of the commercial discussions around this. Clearly out there, one of the big issues with this, Fleur, is that people have considered this to be a very easy do in terms of making money. The reality of it is that we, Telstra, at the moment, have a high-speed data network on radio available to 99% of the population that is running at 14.4 megabits on the backbone. We've announced that we will take that up to 21 megabits early in the new year to 99% of the population. The long-term evolution of that technology is going to take that considerably further. Our competitors, although they're very good at announcing and less good at doing, have said that they will extend their radio data networks out beyond. What we're saying is a high-speed fibre broadband network can be taken that distance with that amount of money. Again, you can't be too specific about how far it goes, but within that order of magnitude. Beyond that, people will have access, of course, to high-speed data on the radio network.
You're the only company that can do it, therefore do it out.
No, that's a view we hold. That in fact our track record of actually delivering against the things that we say we can do is such that we know we can do this. We've demonstrated that. We've built a radio network to 99% of the population. We know what we can do and how we can do it. So no, certainly, absolutely not. All we're saying is we have the capacity, we have the expertise, we have the men, women, equipment, all of the things we need to do it, and we have a proven record of delivering against very big projects, even though this would be the biggest. We know that we can deliver that. And so what we're saying is we can get out there, we can start moving, we can start laying fibre, we can start digging and putting down conduit, we can start employing people very quickly, and we can do it, and we can do it better, and we can do it more quickly.
Aaron Young from Sky News, just clarify in terms of how you've put this proposal together. it's not a full proposal. What actually needs to happen from the Minister's office to get a full proposal to get to the next stage?
Well, look, we've described in the document that you have what the enablers are for us to be able to really put together and put into the government what I describe as a bankable bid, a bid that actually is one that we can stand behind. So what we need is for the government to give us the assurances that we've asked them on those issues that are important to us, so that in fact we can engage in further discussions and hopefully get on with the project.
So in a sense there's no change from what we had yesterday, where you were saying we won't go ahead and the government was saying there'll be no guarantee.
Well, look, I think there is a movement in terms of us continuing to talk to the government through this process, but the fundamental conditions from our perspective are absolutely clear. They have been clear right from the start, and they remain so.
It does, it does seem that you have backed down a little bit on some of the rhetoric that was coming out last week, where you said that you wouldn't bid at all unless the government submitted to your demands. Are you softening on this issue? Perhaps you're more willing maybe to give in to some things that the government may seek to push over the next, as the discussions continue?
No, not at all. There's absolutely no change in our position. Those fundamental risks that we see to the business have to be resolved before we can go any further. That's exactly where we've been, and we're in that position now. Look, we want to be constructive with the government. We certainly want to do this because we believe we can do it better. But what we've said before stands absolutely in terms of us needing to have clarification on these major issues before I can go to the board, or the board would be prepared to commit a very, very significant sum from shareholders' funds.
Dan Oakes from the Age. Just to clarify, the deadline today was that the government specified it was for a bid or a proposal?
Well, look, it's there. They have a request for proposal, and under that, the terms of that are fairly wide open. It allowed people, in our view, to put in a range of documents from thousands of pages to a proposal of the sort that we've put in order to continue discussions.
Is Telstra sort of using the same tactics that was used with the overall funding when it decided not to lodge a compliant bid?
Well, look, what we've... in a situation where we're faced with the prospect of spending a very significant amount of shareholders' funds, we take exactly the same approach. We look at the proposal, we look at what is technically and engineeringly possible, we draw that up in a way that makes commercial sense, and if under those conditions we can see something worthwhile, then we'll put it forward. That's how we operate, whether it's an internal project or an external project. It's exactly the same process. So, you know, we need to know what's possible, what's doable, and I think it's worth, as I think I said a few moments ago, you know, we only say we're going to do what we can do. We get held to a very high standard, and I think that's fine. I don't mind that at all. I think we hold our team to a high standard. I expect people to hold us to a high standard. If we say we're going to do something, so we only set out to say what it is we can do. And if we say we're going to do something, we do it. If we do it any other way, it's we actually beat the time spans that we sometimes put out. We did that with the NextG network. We brought that in some months ahead of what we said we were going to do. So, you know, when we are confronted by a situation where we want to make a proposal of our own volition, or whether we want to make a proposal or respond to somebody else's request, we look at what we can do. We make certain that we can do it from an engineering, construction, physical perspective. Then we look at the economics of it, and then we put a view. And that's the way we operate all the time. And it's the only way to operate. Frankly, anything else, you know, is just unacceptable.